Bonjour. I know the time just came really fast today. Bonjour. Good morning, Greta. Oh, my faithful friend. How are you? How was your week? I get busier and busier every day. Good morning. Your place all washed. You're so funny. Today we're going to experiment with these grits because I don't have grits here. So we're going to see what we come up with. I am good, April. I don't think I've seen your name before. Welcome. Welcome to the live. I am well, thank you. Um, busy, volunteering, trying to get things done. Sometimes we reined in when it rains all day, you really can't get out, and then trying to not sit at the desk and on the computer because that's not healthy, right? You have to get up and go and walk. Yesterday we had our tea, our SWRA tea. We do a monthly high tea, kind of English type tea. And we wore white, we wore our hats. I had some pictures on the Facebook page about our tea. It was nice. The ladies really enjoy. We're just sitting there at the Waldorf and they don't rush us, and we sit there and we chit chat and connecting, because to me that's important. First time ever. Oh, that's wonderful. Welcome. Your week was busy too, studying you too. I know. Like I said, I don't have grits here. I can't find any in Panama. So I have a friend who is at the ATL, and she's coming, I think, November 3rd. So she said she's going to bring me some. And I don't really eat a lot of grits just because of its carb, but oh, that's good stuff. So today we're going to try to make a version of shrimp and grits. So let me tell you the grit situation in Panama. So we can't find any Quaker oats. They have, I've seen the granola bars, but I haven't seen the Quaker oats cook in 1 minute. No, it's not that. That's the what is it again? That we the oats. That's the oats. No, not that. I don't see that either. But I could not find the grits, because that's usually what I buy when I was making grits, even at the restaurant. Oh, there's that person. There is a troll that is always in my life, and as soon as I see him, I'm going to block him because they keep holding his messages for review. Got nothing to do, but that's not going to disturb us, right? Good morning, 30 of you. That's wonderful. Say hello and tell me wherever you're from. There is a drink they make. Remember, I don't know if you watched, but in Panama, white rice is king. White rice with everything, right? And then corn is a very popular item in the diet because of the indigenous population. They grow a lot of corn. So you can buy the ear of corns. They have pounded corn. They have corn in all kinds of ways. And they have a drink they call sesame. Sesame is like they do the corn and then they put milk and they put cinnamon and sugar, of course. And then you can eat it cold, or they'll serve it maybe warm. But anyway, people say they love it. I have not had it yet. I'm getting ready to do a food tour. I'm going to introduce you guys to the food that they eat here in Panama, because breakfast is a whole vibe, okay? So you can buy corn in all kinds of textures. So I was trying to figure out the consistency because I can't find grits, remember that. But I was shopping somewhere one time and I saw polenta. So polenta looks a little bit like grits, but it's yellow, it's not white. So yesterday I was at Foodie, and I think I told you harina. I don't know if that's going to work. But I found this that looks a little bit white, so I thought I would mix that. But yesterday also, I was at Super 99, and I found this one. And the consistency looks like it might work. So we're gonna try to use, I'm gonna put this one in first because this is a little bit coarser, okay? And then I'm gonna add this one, only a little bit of this and that, and then mix it all up and see if that works, okay? And I also, for my shrimp and grits, we're gonna have shrimp, and I have a piece of fish that I'm gonna put on top of the shrimp. So yesterday I went to Mercado de Mariscos and I found some shrimp, you know, nice size. I like this size. I just cleaned them up and devein them. Remember to clean your shrimp. You don't want to be eating poop, right? There's a little blue line that runs through there. And I think I saw a little gadget, that little hook, or you just go in and pull it. But also, some of them, if you go right in here, you'll see the little bit of a blue, just pull that up. Some of them have 2 lines, some of them have 1. So I just clean them with a little bit of vinegar water because I did not want to put the acid, the lemon juice on top, because what happens with fish, you don't need to marinate fish, okay? That's what ceviche is about. You take the fish, you squeeze the lime, the lemon juice, and it starts to cook the fish. So I have a couple of pieces of this fish. This is Melo, M-E-L-O, and I'm not sure what the comparative is in the US. But here, the most abundant fish is corvina, and I think someone told me they also have them in the state. I had not eaten corvina. So it's more of a hardy fish. You see how thick it is? It's kind of like a mahi. So when you cook it, you're gonna give it time to cook, right? Because you don't wanna eat raw fish. And again, I cleaned that up with a little bit of vinegar water, and I did not squeeze any lemon or lime juice. I know, nice size shrimp, right? And you know, I'll tell you what, I noticed a change in the price of the shrimp. Last year, I did a video. You could buy like a pound of shrimp for like $3. That was $5. So there is a little bit of an increase in the price. So let me wash my hands. I think this person said, get a camera that follows you. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I also, this morning, I woke up about 8 and I made some broth so I can cook my, do my grits. Because you can go to the store and buy one of these boxes of chicken or vegetable, which you should do vegetable. But I usually like to make my own. So you remember the watercress story I told you last week? I still have watercress. So I took some of the stems, I put them in there, and then I have half a carrot, a stalk of celery, and then some bay leaves. When we're ready to put the water, we are going to use that broth. Okay? All right. So I thought I would ask you guys, what do you want to talk about today for our chat? I have an idea, but what is it that you'd like to talk about? Jewel on Demand, good morning. Greta. Yeah, I know, nice size shrimp. Do you put butter? I do have butter in the house, but I try to stay away from butter. But when I cook the fish today, I'm going to put a little bit. And I have the rosemary, and then we're going to crush some garlic and put it in there just for flavor. I'm not 100% against butter, okay? I'm not vegan. Remember that. Good morning, Greener Acres Garden Oasis. Wow. Oh, I like that. GAGO. Nice acronym. Okay. All right, guys. Let's get started. So, you've heard a lot about, today's not going to be long because shrimp and grits takes no time, right? So whatever it is you want to talk about, if you don't have a topic, I was thinking of talking about contentment, because happiness and contentment are two different things, right? Um, I think I'm doing a video next week about aging youthfully, and I think contentment is part of it, part of the equation, okay? Because your state of mind does affect your general health. Okay, let's bring this closer. Sorry. Whoops. Because, again, I keep saying, Chuck Swindoll, life is 20% what happens to you and 80% how you react to it. My good old whisk for my grits, okay? Well, wanna be grits today. All righty. So, also, there is a lot of noise about using non-stick pans, and that the material, if it leaks into your food, it's not healthy. Sometimes I go, la, 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 I don't want to hear all this stuff, but I have a aluminum pan, so we're going to use this one. And we're going to start. Contentment is a state of mind, right? You know how sometimes they say, there are some people, if you say good morning, and they say, what's good about it? These are the people you say, you use ceramic. Yes, very good. When you say, there's some people, you don't ask them how they're doing because they're going to tell you. I've lived with and come across some people that it's like always down in the mouth. Nothing is ever right, It's a state of mind. It's an attitude about life. If you look at anything that happens to you with dark lenses, that you're going to be down in the dumps all the time. Because listen, guys, you guys know how crazy this life is, right? So if you don't have some tools to help you maneuver and survive and hunker down, you're not gonna last. You're gonna be in the dumps. You're gonna be clinically depressed. You're gonna resort to alcohol. You're gonna try to find all kinds of things to numb the feeling. What you need to do is to acknowledge that we're living in a crazy, crazy world. What you have to do is create your own persona so you can survive it. And that's how I say that the environment that you live in is going to mold you into the person you're going to become, right? And that's why your kids are going to learn from you. If the kid sees that every time something happens, you're falling apart and it's like drama, 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 they're not going to learn the skills from watching you on how we handle adversity, deception, discouragement, and the one that we talked about before, disappointment, right? Because all these things are going to come rolling in, rolling in. It's just you, the person that you are, the skills you've learned, your resilience. Now, some things come easier to some people, and some of those skills, you kind of have to do a self-assessment and say, well, you know what? I'm kind of weak in that area. I have a tendency to be depressed or to be negative. I stand a few minutes around those topics. I know, I get away. Like Tabitha Brown says, have a good day, but if you can't, do not. I like her tagline. She always has that, don't go mess somebody else's. That's very good. It's the environment. You must be evolving. That's right. That's right. And yes, from one generation to another, your kids learn from you. You are the mirror. They're watching mom to see how is mom going to handle this. They tell you, okay, a little bit of olive oil. You know me, I have to have a little olive oil. They tell you, oh, Mrs. So-and-so says this about you. Well, that's Mrs. So-and-so. whatever you say about me is not about me. It's just your opinion, right? So that's why I say, your opinion of me is just that, your opinion, nothing to do with me. And I refuse to take it in. Brush it off, brush it off. But some of us are so super sensitive. We expect everybody to like us. Sis, they are not. You don't have to do anything to them. Some people are plain hateful. And once I figure you out, like this person says on here, yeah, I was like, next, I'm moving on. I am not wasting my time on you. Ooh, this burner is hot. Ooh, too hot, too hot. Okay, I think I'm going to change burner. This is a large one. I need a smaller one. Hang on. Too hot. Yeah. So contentment, I'm trying to think. When I grew up, my mom was gone a lot. So it wasn't like, I don't think my mom herself was skilled on, how to model things for us. Don't get me wrong, she was a hard worker. That lady worked hard. But working hard, as I said, for her, it was a way to kind of make up for the things that she didn't have growing up. And sometimes we get caught up in that, right? We want to give our kids everything we didn't have. Well, it's not always a good recipe because you're not equipping this child with the skill he or she needs to weather the storms of life, right? It's not your job to solve all their problems. It's not your job to create kids that just have no idea how to handle life. And you have to model it for them, right? So my mom, she worked hard, but I don't remember us having, one-on-one chit-chatting. And I told you guys about my neighbor who was like my surrogate mom. And I think I learned more from her and we had more conversation that way. And I was blessed to have a school where we had really good instructors that invested in us. It was not just about, academics. We had sessions about life and how to handle things like that. So I was blessed in that regard. But I know not everybody is, and I know not every kid is growing up in that environment. So as a family, you take stock of everything that you might have lacked, in your growing up, and then you try to make up for it. So to me, when I was growing up, I was a relatively happy kid, right? I don't remember anything dramatic happening to me, which again, I think I was blessed that way. I don't usually put onions in my grits, but I'm putting a little bit today. Because I'm the one who's going to be eating it. And I love onions and garlic. No garlic in the grits, but onions and garlic are my favorite things. I always start with them. So I was a pretty happy kid, but I've always been an introvert, and I think I stayed by myself a lot. I was a reader, so a lot of kids who are loners tend to be readers, right? Because we can escape. All right, this is the onions. We don't want them to burn. So now I am going to put my my broth, my veggie broth. You see all that good stuff? So as I said, when you are cooking, if you're a good cook, try to always have some broth, some homemade broth in your kitchen. You can freeze it, anytime you have some, veggies looking a little bit puny, just go ahead and make some broth. And what's going to happen is that you're going to always have flavorful. Oh, I used all of it. So I could have used a little bit for the fish, but that's okay. Fish will be good. Yeah. So I was a loner. I had a lot of time that I spent by myself. I was reading, and I was also like a home ec kind of person. My mother was gone a lot. She traveled a lot. She was a business owner. So I would be redecorating the house, moving furniture, doing stuff like that. It's a joy to wake up and excited. My plane arrives in Panama. Ooh, when? Thanksgiving Day. Okay. I will be staying in Boquete. Okay. Oh, I live on Balboa. You need to check in when you come. Can you buy chicken broth? Yes. You have chicken broth, veggie broth here. Yes. And there's a lot of tomato-based product, like I said, because of the Spanish culture and heritage, a lot of olives, a lot of caper, a lot of tomato product, but of the Caribbean side, a lot of rice, a lot of beans. I'm trying to find red quinoa, and they only have like the little 1-pounder. And the black quinoa, I tried to look for it one time, and I came home with chia seeds. So I have a lot of chia to put in my smoothies. Yeah, you can find pretty much everything here. If it's not an American brand, you're gonna find some local brand. But some things, like African American hair product, that's a problem. Grits is another thing. Reba Smith had lots of cheeses and a lot of sausage things that as an American, you're looking for. But yeah. Okay. So yeah, I was a pretty introverted. I'm still an introvert, but I've evolved, like someone said. But I remember though, like I said in one live, I used to be, because I was so much into my feelings, and you really didn't have people to kind of explore why you were feeling certain way. I tended to move inwards, and that's why if somebody did something to me, I kind of held on to it, because I felt entitled to feeling hurt until I got out of it. I was like, this is not good, I'm gonna let it go. So even now, no, it's like let it go. But in terms of contentment, I think it's something one has to be intentional. That's another one of my favorite words. A lot of things you want to happen, whether in your business or whether it's in your life or whether it's in your emotions, you have to be intentional. That's why, ladies and gents, it's very important for you to do a self-assessment to see, who am I? When I had my business, before I hired someone, I used to do an assessment evaluation to see their temperament. If you're trying to hire a salesperson, you don't want to hire me. I'm an introvert. I'm not going to go talk to like a stranger. And to be in sales, you have to be able to talk to the tree, right? So there was a program called DISC, and then there's Myers-Briggs, all these self-assessment, you can take them free online, and it will kind of give you at the end an explanation as to how you move in this world, how you roll, your emotions, your likes, your dislikes, how you function. And it's not a negative. You're just trying to understand your place in the cosmos, your place in the world. And if you're in a relationship, and a lot of times we get into a relationship before we've acquired those skills. And that's why a lot of our marriages don't last. I was 21 when I got married. What the heck did I know at 21 years old? No, I've been divorced 10, 11 years. And again, culture, environment. When I was growing up, if you were 25 and unmarried, oh my God, something was wrong with you. The world was falling. Oh my God, now it's totally different, right? Same thing with going to see a counselor. Before, you would not go to anyone and air out your laundry and say, I need help, I'm not sleeping, I'm depressed. Now going to see a therapist is hip. It's like I see these stars on TV. It's like my therapist. Everybody has a therapist. I think it's the most lucrative job in Hollywood. But I tended to be inward. And I'm a firstborn. I told you that. So I do have some innate leadership skills. But I needed to work on things like forgiveness. I needed to work on not being so self absorbed. I needed to work on realizing that it's not all about you, sis. It's not. So when you're sitting here saying, oh my God, she said this to me, she hurt my feeling, blah, 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 and somebody on this side is dying of cancer, what is your problem? Your issue is not that important. So unless you get to a point where you're like, I am grateful, we talked about gratefulness. I am grateful for who I am. I am grateful for all the opportunities that are happening to me. I am grateful I got up in the morning with my right mind, I'm able to move. I'm grateful I have a job, I have a place. One thing they tell you when you go see a therapist. So now, as a practitioner, if somebody says, I've been down in the dumps, I'm not sleeping, I just have no energy, the first thing you do is say, go talk to the therapist, and the therapist will say, do you have any hobbies? Go engage in some hobbies. Do you have any opportunities to volunteer? Go do some volunteer work. Because once you take the focus off of you and put it on someone else, you expand your capacity to be empathetic, which is what a certain person in politics doesn't understand, that it's not all about you. What about the rest of the world? What about the rest of us? Okay? So once you realize that the world doesn't revolve around you, you're only a little speck of dust in the wind. Remember that song? All we are is dust in the wind. Don't put so much importance to you. I'm not saying too low, you don't have any self-esteem. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, in order for you to develop those skills that says, I am going to be content with my situation. Contentment does not depend on what's happening, on how much money you make, on whether you get the promotion or not, how handsome your husband is, how successful your kids are. It doesn't. All right, I'm going to lower this heat and try. I'm going to start putting a little bit of that coarse corn in here first and see, because I don't want a lot of it in there. So yes, once you start to realize that the world doesn't revolve around you, you're going to be more likely to say, oh, maybe I can go help her out. Oh, this woman is a single parent. Maybe I can help take the kids home for her 1 day a week or 2 days a week, right? You become more aware of the world. And when you do that, you take the focus off of you and you put it on someone else. That is one recipe for depression, to ward up depression and self-centeredness. Self-centeredness, right? And then you're more open to friendships. You're more open to joy. You're more open to, you look around and you see this big old world and you're like, oh, wow, the sky is beautiful today. Oh, wow, that breeze feels so good. These are all things you do to preserve your mental health. And it also creates in you a sense of awe, a sense of curiosity, a sense of discovery. You're always discovering things about the world, about yourself. Then you say, okay, how about if I learn a hobby? How about if I've always wanted to learn to sew? I've always wanted to take a painting class. Don't wait till you retire to do that, sis. Go do it. If you have a dream, don't die with your dream inside of you. Carve out time to nurture yourself. And this is what Stephanie Perry, Rashida Dow, they're trying to get women to understand, that we have self-neglected for so long. But what I'm telling you, I'm going a little deeper, telling you, you need to get inside yourself. Do that self-assessment. Look at your situation now, and then look at your situation where you would want to go. And what can you do to reach those goals now, not when you retire, sis. Don't wait till you're retired. Because guess what? You may not make it to retirement. We don't know what's waiting for us tomorrow, right? You don't know what calamity gonna befall you. You hope and pray. But why does it happen to so and so? They're not a worse person than you, right? I don't have the answer as to why. I'm still waiting to figure it out. I'm waiting to figure out why some people go to so much, you know what? Because to me, it's not fair. I say the same thing. I say it's not fair. But life is not fair, is it? Why is it that we were born with certain illnesses? Why is it that we were born poor? Why is it that we were not born in a country that appreciates everybody? Why is it that we have to constantly struggle for validation? I ask those questions. But contentment also, like Chuck Swindoll says, those things are given. I had nothing to do with that. Therefore, I'm not going to take the responsibility and, put it in me and let it eat me up. Because the injustices of this world will always be there. I remember I was watching something. This black couple had moved into a beautiful home in Virginia, West Virginia. Hello. And they started having problems with some of their neighbors, to the point they were throwing things through their window. And the guy just packed up his family and left. And then he went on a show. They were interviewing him. And this person says, well, why didn't you stay and fight? You're a wuss, you just ran. And the guy said, I was trying to protect myself and my family. I'm no Martin Luther King, I don't have that responsibility. I'm trying to protect my family. So we get so judgmental about people's action when it had nothing to do with us. The world doesn't revolve around us. And the way we see things, you shouldn't be imposing it on people. And all these things have to do with the process of you getting to a point where you're like, you know what? The serenity prayer. Lord, give me the courage to accept the things I cannot change. What is it that you can change? You can change your habits if they're negative. You can change how you react to the situation or whatever happens to you. You can change what you put in your body. That's within your control. You can change how you nurture your relationships with your kids. I mean, people who don't talk to their children for like decades, that's a travesty. So once you sift through those things and you realize there are some things that I have no control over. I mean, it may take you a while. It might. Okay, let me try. I'm going to try to add some of this. It might take you a while. But you have to want. Okay, let's see. I'm going to let you see what it looks like. It's a little very thin. Not quite the texture I was looking for, but we shall see. Okay, it might work. Look at it. So we'll just give it a little time and see how it looks. And I usually put my salt and pepper towards the end so I don't disturb this. Good. All right. Yeah. So the thing is, we can't change somebody's political views. You know, the things that we've been through in our country between people not talking to each other, going to Thanksgiving dinner, they can't even sit together because they're at opposite poles of their political. You, you believe this? Okay, I still love you. You're still my family member. Just don't insult me and do your best to try to bring me over to your side. I always say, okay, we can agree to disagree. You over here, I'm over here, but we're still family. And if we're unable to do that, it's on you, not me. Not me. So accepting the things you can't change, poverty, injustice, inequality, I struggle with that one a lot because I have such a strong sense of justice. When I see people being neglected because of the way they look, because of the way they speak, where they come from, people grouping a whole group of people together and saying, we're all a monolith, we're all like this. I had to work on that to say, Maggie, it is not your job to save the world. And I had to come to Jesus and say, and adopt the idea of bloom where you planted. Because I told you how I grew up. The sisters, when they were talking to us, it was always with a sense that you're gonna be somebody, you're gonna do some great things. You know, that standard of excellence and expectation was strong. So that was pressure, right? So 20s, 30s, 40s, striving, the jobs, the degrees, the house, the cars, pressure, children, job. I want to move up. After school programs, sitting on boards. That's a lot. And you wonder why your hair is falling out. You wonder why your skin is bad. Because you're under a lot of pressure, sis. Self-inflicted and also peripherally, the world is putting pressures on us. But what we get is that we are not strong enough to realize that and say, oh, time out. I can't do all that. Instead, we embrace it all. I was on several boards. The kids were playing 2 or 3 sports. I was working full-time as a nurse, but no, I had to get the master's degree, right? Because striving, success, that's how your idea of success was. I got to a point, I think, when I made a decision and I said, I'm surprised I haven't had a heart attack. I said I was surprised, but I didn't. God protected me. So once I realized that and I said, oh, enough is enough. I'm going to get off this board. I'm going to get off that board. And I told the kids at one point, I'm like 1 sport. We're not doing 2 or 3 because it was just too much. So you're still on the path to contentment because you can't be happy if you're running with no time to sit down. And that's why relationships fail. Because you're not putting the time and energy to nurture those relationships. And it's not just with the spouse, it's also with the kids. It's also with friends, neighbors. Do you take time to go sit and have a meal with your neighbor? No. Hey, you just wave in the driveway, that's it. We don't sit still long enough to do anything. You cannot be content living a life like that. You may think what we bought in is that as women, you know, Stephanie Perry says, take the cape off, sis. Take the cape off. You can't do all that and strive and be in tune with yourself. By the time you get to bed, you crash, right? No time for introspection. You don't have time in the morning to meditate. You barely have time to make it to the gym. You pick up dinner on the way home because you're so tired. You feeding your kids all the junk. I did it because we don't have time. We're too busy. Ooh. Look, it's starting to look good, but it's yellow, unfortunately. It's not the color of, of our grits. Oh, all right, let me open that other one and see what it looks like. See if I can put a little white in it. But you know, even if I had polenta by itself, ooh, I don't think this is gonna be good for the grits. Mm-mm. This is like a flour. Mm-mm. No. Ooh. All right, so I'm gonna put the lid on, lower the heat, and let, I think I got enough. I didn't put a lot of it because again, I'm cooking for me. I'm not cooking for a crowd, and I don't want to have a lot of this grit-like thing sitting around. All right, so we're going to get with the fish. So we're going to season the fish lightly, right? Like I said, fish doesn't need to be marinated. So the shrimp, all right. I always like to put a little bit of oil in when I'm marinating anything. So don't come at me if you eat no oil. This is not gonna be the kitchen for you. All right, salt, pepper. This burner is still a little bit warm. And yes, I'm gonna put some salt. I'm using the Himalayan salt today. Okay. You know I love Slap Your Mama. I'm gonna put a little bit, not a lot. You know, your fish doesn't need a lot of flavoring because they pick up flavors really quickly. Cayenne. A little bit of organic cayenne. Okay, paprika. All right, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic. Not too much. Yep, so when life is passing you by and you just so scheduled, you just don't have time to get inside yourself. And that's why a lot of people, you know, moms with kids, they're depressed. They're depressed, no time. And then on the weekend, when you're not working, what do? Chores, 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 chores. So when do you have time? So hopefully you take some time once a year to take a vacation. You think that's enough? Oh my God. But I remember when I had the business, I decided I was going to take some staycations, you know, like some long weekends. So I'll take a Friday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll go somewhere. That's self-care, sis. That is self-care, okay? Going for a walk, going to nature, listening to music. It doesn't have to always be something motivational or business related. You put in your earpods, right? It could be listening to some Rachmaninoff, Mozart, or whatever music you like. Um, Cooking. For me, cooking is my happy place. So can I take time to cook without pressure, right? I'm not trying to impress anybody. And I'm not talking about the cooking that you do so you can do your meals for the week. And that, to me, that's not fun. That's not you you're cooking because you scheduled again, right? I'm talking about if you are perusing and then you come across a recipe and you're like, oh, I'd like to try that. That's fun, right? That's fun. Like this is fun for me because I don't with this thing here. I'm experimenting with this grits. So, all right, so we're gonna, and then we're gonna put the acid glass. Oh, those shrimp look so good. I haven't had shrimp since I went whole food plant-based in October 2022. Because when I did my lab work, my cholesterol was like 293, I think. And it was like, oh my God, you're gonna die tomorrow. And then the doctor was like, well, she took her pad to write me a prescription. And I'm like, oh, hold up, I'm not doing that. And she's like, well, the recommendation is, I said, I don't really care what the recommendation is. I know what I need to do. I'm going to lose some weight and then it's going to be fine. And then guess what? This year, they come around and say, oh, cholesterol is actually good. You don't need to take all these medications. The medications are just hurting you. They're not helping you. Shoot. See? You can't trust these people. I'm telling you. All right. You like the beautiful lime? We have a lot of that here in Panama. Lime juice is plentiful. It took me 2 months when I came to Panama last year to find lemons. I was looking for lemons because I'm used to lemon. But I'm also used to lime because I'm Caribbean. So now I'm like, I don't look for lemons anymore. Unless I'm doing a recipe and I need the lemon peel or the zest or something. I don't look for it. All right. So and then when I put the fish in the pan, I'm going to put some rosemary and then baste it in that to improve the flavor. So here we go. But remember what I said, this is a meaty. You see the size of this fish? So we're going to have to give it time to cook, okay? And the shrimp is ready. It smells so good. All right. Let's get the pan. I think I'm going to use that old pan. I don't have ceramic, unfortunately. All right, let's look at this grits here. Now, when I was growing up, I think the texture is good. I just need to add a little bit more to it, right? It's yellow, but I can't help the yellow. But I think the texture is good. Just need to thicken it a little bit. So when you do this, you're releasing the gluten, and that's what's going to make it nice and creamy. So when I used to make my grits, she said, Miss Maggie, how come your grits are so creamy? I said, it's all, and I used to have these big old long whisks, so it was like this. All right, salt and pepper, a little bit of Himalayan. Oh, and I also wanted to add a little bit of coconut milk to this grits. Maybe this will help with the coloring. It's not a lot. It helped a little bit. And I also like putting my grits, salt and pepper, and of course, when I used to do butter. The one thing I don't like about this grater is that it got the pieces of the pepper flakes are a little bit too big, and I don't like that. But all right, let's taste. It's not bad. Not bad at all. But I think next time I'm going to try the polenta. I did see polenta in the stores, but not Quaker Oats. Sesame. So I'm gonna have to figure out where to get some sesame. They said it's best in La Chorrera over here. La Chorrera is in the eastern part of the city. Panama Oeste. Not bad. Okay. All right. So let's get back to the fish. Okay. So we are going to add a little bit of olive oil. And I'm going to do the shrimp first. And remember with shrimp, as soon as it turns pink, it's ready. Oh my God. I have major pet peeve. When I'm watching people cooking shrimp in a dish, like if they're making gumbo, they put the shrimp in with the sauces and the chicken, cook it all together. Then they add all the stuff, and that shrimp is still cooking and cooking and cooking. And I'm like, take the shrimp out. Because if you don't, it's going to become rubber if it's overcooked. Okay? So as soon as your shrimp, you just turn them once, and they should be done. You take them out. Because towards the end, I'm going to cook some peppers and onion and do like a little Creole sauce. And then it's going to cook a little bit more. So don't overcook your shrimp. Just like don't overcook your steak if you eat meat. You know, the worst thing you can do is ask the chef to cook your steak well done. It hurts. And I know a lot of my sisters, well done. That's all they say. Well done, well done. It changes the texture of the thing. Wow, look how pretty the shrimp is already pink. So we're just gonna turn them and put them to the side. So yeah, if you don't take time to get inside yourself, you're missing out on that self-assessment. Being busy doesn't make you a better person. Just keep that in mind, okay? So why do we pursue contentment? Why? Because it's good for you. It's healthy. It's healthy. And like I said, tomorrow I'm going to do a video about aging. People are like, oh my God, your skin looks so good. What is your skin regimen? I don't have a regimen. Soap and water, and I moisturize, and I put a little bit of sunblock if I'm going out. That's it. I don't spend my money buying Mary Kay. Been there, done that. There was another one, been there, done that. So I said, I'm done. I don't even buy, what's the one? Revitalists or whatever. They tell you you're going to go to sleep and wake up 20 years younger. If you believe that, oh my God. You know this thing about reverse aging? How do you reverse your age? You can't. Don't believe the hype. All right, shrimp is done. You see it? See how pretty they are? Okay, so we're gonna put them away. Yeah, don't overcook the shrimp. You're gonna hurt my feelings. Please, please, please. All right, so now we're going to do the big fish. Now, I'm definitely going to make sure they have a nice searing at the bottom, because that's the part I'm going to put up on my plate. This particular fish, I'm going to put that in the middle of the plate where it's hotter, right? Yeah, I put like one fillet. It was $7, but it was all this, and I have some left over, and I still have this much. Okay, so it was it was like this big for $7. And the shrimp was $5. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little bit of butter, and we're going to add the rosemary. Ooh, are you? That's it, a little bit of butter. The rosemary, I'm going to put it whole. This is what you see the chefs do in the cooking shows. What you're doing is building flavor. You know, you put the rosemary in the oil, and then you just keep basting your fish with it. And oh my God. Like if you do cod or mahi, do it like that, you're gonna have such good flavor. So I'm not gonna move this at all until I'm pretty sure that it's gonna cook halfway. Okay? All right, in the meantime, we have to do our veggies. I'm gonna do a whole lot. I washed them already. I have, look at these beauties. Oh, I love watching those. So I'm going to use a little bit. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do them Julienne, yeah, let's do Julienne. Julienne's mean lengthwise, but you know, thin. So these are not gonna take long to cook because they're very small. Okay. Got the red, the green. You want multicolored. Just too long. Okay. Everything a little bit to scale. All right, I'm gonna turn. See that mark? Nice. Now this is the kind of fish that if you were to make like fish stew or fish soup, you want to use that because it's so hardy, it's not going to fall apart inside. So usually what I do to kind of speed up the cooking process, I'll cover it a little bit. And lower the heat so it will cook a little bit faster. All right, let's check on our grits. One reason I don't like using the metal pan because, you know, the bottom always sticks. That's still not, still a little bit too watery. Too watery. I need it to be a little bit thicker so that it doesn't run when I put it on the plate. Yum. It's good. All right, so I'm going to put this thing in the back and let it cook a little bit more because I just added some corn to it. But I think the consistency is good now. All right. More peppers. All right, so we have red, green, yellow, I don't know what you call that color. Orange? All right. We're gonna put the grits in the bag, lower the heat so I don't burn it. Alrighty, so this fish, when it starts to get cooked, this is gonna relax a little bit. So it hasn't relaxed yet. So in the meantime, I can cook the peppers so that it's ready. And then I can just dump them in here. And I also have some cherry tomatoes that I'm going to just crush and put them in the mix. I don't want to cut them in half, like in half, because it's not like a salad. The best way to do that would have been to just roast them in the oven and then crush them a little bit. But we can make do. Okay. I'm going to crush one clove of garlic. Ooh, I have some jalapeno. You know how much I love jalapeno. I'm gonna add it. I don't know why, I just love jalapeno. And I told you how I found the hot peppers at Merca, 12 for $1. I'm in heaven. Yesterday we had our high tea, so we took the ladies to an English afternoon tea. Check the pictures on our Facebook page, and they bring you these 3-tier thing. And then we had scones, macaroons. They had like, instead of cucumber sandwiches, they do like a chicken salad, curry chicken salad sandwich. We had mini empanadas. So, I'm dressed to go to the gym because I was not good. So I gotta work extra. Oh my God. I'm surprised my face wasn't swollen today because I ate 2 scones, and they bring you the scones with the clotted cream, and where is that? And they had like a mini key lime or lemon meringue something. Oh, I mean, there was a lot of things in there. Come on. Yeah, this one is good. Okay, let me turn the heat way down. Maybe I'll switch burners because this is my hottest burner and this one's always acting up. So we got our onion, and of course I don't want anything to be overcooked. I do not like my veggies overcooked, so it's going to be really short. put the garlic. Probably gonna put a little bit of thyme, not rosemary. Rosemary would be a bit too harsh for this. A little bit of thyme. A Caribbean cook always has thyme. And then you just, because the thyme has been a little bit hard to find these days. So I just take the stem and squeeze the things out like this. So like that, like Candace Brown, I like when she talks like that. You add a little bit that's so like this, so like that. I'm not stealing her stuff, I'm just saying. I like when she says it. And her hair always looks so good. But boy, ladies, that natural hair is a lot of work. Oh my God. I guess that's why I'm lazy. I just braid them, and then after that, it's just, I do the poof poof and then be done with it. I just can't. Okay, a little salt and pepper. No cayenne. Put a little bit of slap your mama. And of course, good old paprika. Okay, I'm gonna put, I don't think I have. I'm gonna put some water in the rest of my broth. Just, I'm gonna steal some flavoring. That's it. That's the thing with cooking. You have to have your eyes everywhere. Okay, in my little gravy for the fish, you see it's not a lot. So I'm gonna add a little hint of the coconut milk. Just a little bit, and some curry powder. And if you had like, oh, what's the name of this thing? I can't remember the name. It's not curry, but it's yellowish too. You know what I'm talking about. And it's good for you. So you could add a little bit. I just like to add a hint to just give me a little color. See? A little bit of yellowish color. And then probably gonna need lots of lemon juice, lime juice, right? So this is a fish dish. So we need all right, so I know what else I need to add. I'm gonna add a whole Scotch bonnet or habanero just for the flavor. Whole, so it's not gonna be hot. Okay, so my veggies are looking really good. So now I'm gonna bring the fish back. Or maybe better, take the rosemary out, because I don't want the rosemary little leaves to leak into that, and throw it all in there. So the seasoning from the fish is going to help the gravy. Okay? Look at this beauty. Okay? Oh, yum. Shrimp. So now everything is married together. So the only thing I want to do right now, you see the consistency of your sauce? You want it to be just a tad thicker. So I'm going to get a little bit of cornstarch. I hope I have some. I don't use that a lot. Oh, please let me have some. Oh, I don't think I have baking powder. That's not what I want. Okay. Oh, yes. Yes. I do. They call it maizena here, but it is cornstarch. So what I'm going to do, I'm putting it in a little bit of water. We call that a slurry. And you just put it in there every time you want to thicken your sauce. And put that down a little bit. And you add a little slurry to your sauce. And it thickens it really fast. It's tasteless, so it's not going to alter the taste of your food. See, I don't need a whole lot. Here's my slurry. I'm just gonna put it in here. It thickens the sauce right there. Ooh, look at this. My crocky, that's pretty. So you want everything to be, get that flavor from your little gravy. You see, it's already thickened. That's how you thicken your sauce. Let's say you're making gumbo, right? Anything you're making. Wow, that is so good. So now I'm going to squeeze some more lemon juice on the whole thing. And we are ready. That looks pretty. Now that's a nice spot. Oh my goodness. I should take a picture of that before where is my phone? Yes. Before I plate it. Take a picture. I'm always taking pictures. Sometimes my friends are like, would you put that down? I'm like, no. That's my business. Okay. All right. So our fish is done. And our shrimp wannabe. Our grits. But actually, it's not looking so yellow now. I think maybe it's because of the little coconut milk. But I know it doesn't look exactly like grits, but this is the best I could come up with, okay? So be kind. Let's see, what am I gonna put it in? No, this is too deep. Maybe just this, right? Let's put some of our grits. You see the consistency is perfect. So when you're cooking, you don't have to, be worried. You could add here, add there, No one's going to tell you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, that looks so good. All right. So what I want to do is put the shrimp down first. 4, I will do. And then a piece of fish, not too big. We don't want to overpower the dish, right? And then now we're going to add our veggies, our peppers. When I made this at the cafe, oh, people used to love it. Okay. So, and then we're going to put a twig, pepper, not pepper, I still have some parsley. Some people would do like green onions. You would put some green onions on it as a garnish. You can do that. But I think this is enough. And then I'm going to put a couple of slices of, oh no, my jalapeno. I'm going to use the jalapeno as a garnish. I love to do that. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, so pretty. It looks so pretty. And that's what we mean when we say you eat with your eyes. Because if the food is looking pretty, you're more likely to want to eat it. And plus, your brain tells your mouth to start salivating, and then you're more likely to feel hungry. Maybe I'll put that there just to, and voila, shrimp and grits, my version. What do you guys think? I know it's not quite like grits, but like I said, couldn't find grits in Panama City. That looks good, right? And I like to have the shrimp in my shrimp and grits. I do. It looks really good. But you know what? You guys make me eat better or eat more, because usually after this, I don't cook for the rest of the week for myself. When you finally move there, you're going to pay. You know, my group, that's one other thing. We were talking about what can we do in 25 that we're not doing this year. And they said, let's cook together. So that's going to be on the menu. I'm at your door. Can you hear me knocking? It looks real good. I am so proud of myself. Yeah, look at that. Yum, yum. All right. Let's finish the topic. Not much to talk about after that. Sorry. Let me have my tea today. So, I think I like cooking with you guys. I like the interaction, but I also like the chatting part because I really want to help you feel better about yourself, feel better about life. You know what? With this election coming and everything happening, the wars and everything, if you start taking all that in, it's not going to be good. Because remember what I said, there's nothing you can do about it, is there? Yes, you vote. I hope you voted. But the rest of it is out of your hand, right? So you can't take all that on. You can't put on the weight of the world. The injustice that's been going on will continue to go on. Human trafficking, the stuff people do to kids, to women. We have a really strong issue with domestic violence here in this country that I love. It's not just in the US, it's not just in Asia and other places, it's here too, it's everywhere. Human beings, you know, like I always say, the capacity for evil, I just cannot comprehend how people can do things to each other, to people who they supposedly love, your own children. And that's where the self-preservation comes in. I had to get to a point to say, Maggie, stop. You can't take all that on. I can't take the whole weight of the world problems and put it on my shoulders. I'm a speck of dust. There is nothing I can do. And that's when I started talking about the serenity prayer. I posted it and I started to let it become my life motto. And the other thing was like, I'm only one person. Bloom where you planted. And that means if God puts people on your path that you can help, help them financially or with your help or with your knowledge, help them. I believe in paying it forward. I told you my history, my story, not my history, my story about when I came to the US and I was by myself and I was crying. I didn't know what I was going to do. And God sent an angel, an unknown woman, to come talk to me and help me. So make sure you are that person to somebody else. When you see someone in need, I get emotional, and you have the capacity to help without expecting anything. That's the thing. If next week that person that you help stabs you in the back, and it will happen, are you going to go back and say, oh, this is it, I'm done, that's why I'm not helping anybody else? Look what she did. You didn't do it for her, you did it for you. You're trying to fill your own bag of good deeds, not that you're trying to say, oh, if I do enough good deeds, I'm going to be better, I'm going to heaven. We're not going into religion. I'm not into that at all. I'm talking about building yourself up, building your arsenal. Doing good makes you feel good. It's not about the person. That's why when we talk about forgiveness last week, forgiveness is not about the person. It's for you to release the hurt, to release whatever else they did to make you feel better. I mean, we become selfish a little bit, but there's nothing wrong with that, because I can't force someone else to do something or be. I can only work on myself, right? The only person you can change is you. That's why when you talk about disappointment, if you are waiting for people to do good, you're going to be disappointed. But if you do good yourself, and in your own little circle, your neighbor, the person down the street, the person I come across, giving a smile. Like the other day, I mean, I'm not turning my anything, but I put it in my head that when I'm going from the train station into the bus terminal, there are usually people lined up, women with little kids. Maybe they borrowed the kids, I don't know. I don't care. A blind person, there was a guy who puts like a piece of paper and he tapes it all across his eyes. You probably can see. But I'm still going to give it my $5. I don't care. When you do good, it's not for the person, it's for you. Not to puff yourself up and say, oh, I helped 3 people today. Come on. And then we talk about humility another time. Humility is something that you need to seek. Don't puff yourself up. Well, I'm so and so. I do this. And that's why there were a couple of groups around here in my town that I don't go back to. Because when I went there, I had the feeling, the uppity thing. And I'm like, oh, sis, hold up. I'm too old. I am too old to feed into that kind of stuff. If I feel the negativity, I'm out. I'm out. It's okay. Thank you so much. Bye. You got to preserve your little space, right? Keep the negative energy away. And one thing I tell people to be content is have to get rid of things that don't serve you. And that includes job, that includes relationship, that includes a host of things. Put yourself in the middle and say, is this serving me? Is this relationship serving me? Is this job serving me? I'm thinking right now is the time for self-care, self-assessment, self-preservation. And that's how you're going to be happy, sis. Contentment is a state of mind. I always tell you, everything starts with here. Once you make the decision to do anything, YouTube, to come to Panama, to do whatever, it starts up here with a decision. Once you make the decision, then it's going to come right here, and then action's going to flow out from it, right? So if I said, you know what, this doesn't serve me. Look, that's like when I lost my job. I was sitting there in my car in this dead-end traffic, and I sat there. All of a sudden, I said, what sitting here? Why am I doing this? I'm out. It was a decision. And then I retired. It's the decision. So say, you know what? I'm going to preserve my peace and I'm going to be content. Contentment starts with a decision and then it becomes a state of mind. But there are actions you need to take to get you to that point. That's what I said. If it doesn't serve you, cut it up. You have people bringing you down, cut it up. You have a job stressing you out. When you go in, you're like hyperventilating. There was this nurse saying every time she gets on the floor, she had to go in the bathroom and blow in a brown bag because she was having a panic attack. Who can live like that day in and day out? Now, you may be in a position you can't quit right then, but you need to have a plan in place to exit. And that's what Rashida Dow and Stephanie Perry teach people to do. Have your plan, work your plan. If you sit in the same situation, but then you're complaining every time you're around people, oh my God, my boss, this girl, this, well, where are you still there? You have the power within yourself to change things. Maybe you take a demotion. My sister was promoted to a job into an insurance company. She's younger than me. She's not a nurse, so she doesn't have the same, introspection. I got a call one time, said, well, oh, she said, sis, they had to call the ambulance. I'm having chest pain. I'm going to the hospital. And I'm like, hold up, wait, I'm coming. Don't let them do anything to you. By the time I got to the hospital, she already had a cardiac catheterization. There was nothing. Her arteries were clear. But you know what? She had insurance. You know how it works. And they checked everything. There was nothing wrong with her. They sent her home. That evening, my brother-in-law called, sis, we're back in the hospital. What? Chest pain again. And I'm like, oh my God. So now they were doing other chest CAT scan to see if she had like some kind of a blood clot. Nothing. Everything is clear. Then we gave her like an anti-inflammatory Indocin that works for the heart muscle if it's inflamed. But 2 days later, she said, sis, I realized something. I think it's this job. They had kept piling things on top of things for her to be responsible for because she was such a good employee at what she was doing. And you know how it is. They kind of identify, oh, I see one, the next victim. I see you. You think it's a promotion, don't you? But it's not. They're trying to kill you. So she said they had her doing the job of 3 people. So she went, when she felt better, she went into her boss. She said, I'm sorry, I don't want this promotion. I'd like my job back in my little cubicle where I can do my job. And that's what they did. When she went back, they hired 3 people to do the one job they were having her do. Sis, they're trying to kill you. And no one is going to get out of that job but you. But if you don't stop long enough to realize what's happening, they're going to take you out in a body bag. And as they are, this is hard to say, as they are taking you out in the bag, they have your position posted to hire somebody else. You are not even a number. You are not even a number. I got COVID. I was in the hospital 4 days. No one called to check to see, are you alive? Are you dead? But on the day I was being discharged, I got, oh, are you better? When are you coming back? You a number, sis. If the job doesn't serve you, cut the cord. It's not worth it. And I know a lot of people saying, oh, I need to work 5 more years to get full retirement. Maybe you'll make it. Maybe you won't. I left at 62. I calculated how much they were going to charge me for leaving early, and I'm like, I can make it work. I'm probably going to have to give up that, but my peace of mind was worth it. So be smart, sis, okay? And that's what I'm trying to say. Contentment is a state of mind. It's a state of being. When you wake up in the morning, you pop open your eyes, the first thing I say is, Lord, I thank you for waking me up. I can think, oh, what I have planned today, my mind is still working. I get up, my limbs are working. Everything, you develop a spirit of gratefulness, of thankfulness for what you have. Stop focusing on what you don't have. The big house, the big apartment, the fancy car, how many thousands in the bank. I'm not saying don't manage your money. You know what I mean? Don't, I'm not saying that. But it's okay to live with less. And one thing I had to learn in my 50s is that, like I was saying, when I was growing up, I was groomed for like success, something exciting. And even though I got a master's degree, I was married, I live in a nice house or whatever, but I did not consider that such a sense of accomplishment. I kept thinking I needed to do more and more and more. And then in my 50s, I had to say, you know, Maggie, it's okay being average. There's no shame in having a job, living in a little house, driving a Toyota versus the BMW. It's okay. And it's like a come to Jesus moment to say, you know, I'm content. Maybe you have a car loan that now you can afford. Maybe now you have a mortgage that you can afford instead of living in a 3-4 story house that you can't afford because you want to hang out and let people see, oh, I live in that neighborhood. I live over there. So practice contentment. Be happy with less. Be happy with smaller. Find joy in the simple things, a walk, hearing birds chirping. I videotaped bird chirping for you the other day because when I heard them, it made me feel good. I love to go to the mall and sit there and people watch. You may think I'm bored, but I'm not bored. I feel my day. I get up, I say, oh, I don't have anything, to do on the computer today. I go to the bus stop and I just say, I haven't been on that bus. So I get on that bus and I just keep looking around the whole time. I drive that bus till it ends. When I see everybody getting up, oh, it's the last stop. So I get up too. And then I walk around like, oh, I don't know this neighborhood. I didn't know that neighborhood. Oh, that's how we get over here. And then I get up. I am not bored. But it's because it's a decision. I make a point to fill my life with things that I enjoy that don't cost me. I don't need to go on a 3-week European vacation for me to be happy. I've been there, done that. I don't need to do that now. But would I love to travel to other countries? Yes. I'm a budget traveler. I love it. They were like, oh yeah, we love the what about the VIP places where they go and they eat, fatty food and all the hot dogs and things like that? I'm like, do you, sis? I don't need that. Yes, I love first class, to tell you the truth, because when these kids start screaming in the back, I really don't like that. So that's like when we get our 25% jubilado discount here, we upgrade. We upgrade because you get to a certain age, you just want your peace. But try to see life through the lens of, I'm not responsible for everybody's problem. I'm not responsible for the world's problem. I'm not responsible for this person acting the fool. I'm not responsible for this person hurting me. So if I'm in a relationship with you and all you do is hurt me, cut the cord. I cut it. When you say, oh, I haven't heard from you for a while. Oh, I've been busy, girl. It's good. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need you in my circle. That negative energy, I don't need it. So people like us, we have few friends, but we have the few that we have are good friends. But you don't have to be the life of the party and be everywhere. There's so much going on in this city. You're not going to find me at 90% of them because they don't serve me. I don't need to go to rooftops and hang around people drinking. I don't drink. I don't need to be around people smoking. It bothers me. And I don't want to be going to all these restaurants eating food that don't serve me and spending my money. No. I go for a hike. I go for a walk. I can take $40 and go spend the day at the beach by myself. And I'm perfectly content. Those activities make me feel good. I mean, I can go on forever, you guys. It's already hour and 40 minutes. I'm going to stop. But I want you to practice contentment. Contentment is a state of being. It's not based on what is happening in your life right now. Contentment is not situational. Why is it that sometimes you see somebody who's dying, but yet you see them at peace? It's not related to the diagnosis. It's not related to what's happening. Not that it doesn't affect you, but it's not going to destroy you if you have that inner strength that says, I will be content in every situation. Practice that. Practice thankfulness. Practice a spirit of wonder. Oh my God, this is so pretty. Oh, that's beautiful. But if you get to be 60, 70, and then it's like, I've done everything, I've seen everything, so what's the point of you still being alive? There is so much more to discover. New skills. Get a hobby. Develop something. One thing we talk about our group here, we want to recreate a life for ourselves. We can have new careers, new businesses, but still centered, right? Making sure we understand the value of meaningful relationships, cutting off things that don't serve us. Be inspired and inspiring. Give back. I don't know how else to say it. But being content with yourself when you walk in a room and people say, she owns that room. That means you have a sense of yourself, your power, your presence. It doesn't matter where you go. You walk in, you're comfortable. You don't have to be going to everybody, but you go and say, hello, my name is Maggie, how are you? And you can strike a conversation. Just calm, right? Because you don't have any ulterior motive. You don't have to see everybody as a client. Just enjoy the conversation. Enjoy learning other things. When I meet someone to say, I'm from, and I ask questions because I'm curious about new places, the food, the culture, without judgment. Practice that, and I guarantee you, you'll feel like peace. Your blood pressure is going to be controlled. Some of your medications are going to be taken off. And that's one of the things people say when they come to Panama. There is an aura of peace here. So bank on that. Work on that more. Go out in nature. It's going to do wonders, wonders for your peace of mind. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to stop right here. Let me see if I have some questions. The chat was busy, but I could not. Somebody said you need a moderator, but Greta, I feel like we're getting a full sermon today. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that, Joe, but I get a little bit excited. Contentment. Happiness is situational. Contentment is a state of being. State of being. This is my first time joining the live. I have known you for years. Me knows. What's M knows? What's the first name? What's the M? I think I know somebody named Knows. M knows. All right. Do you guys have any questions before I sign off and go eat my shrimp and grits? Ah, it's so pretty. I'm so happy with the way it came out. Look at that. Oh, and I have an avocado. What do you think about the cosmic? I feel like I'm not. Yeah, I felt like I know. I think I work with a nurse named Knowles. I don't remember the first name. What kind of fish was that, Maggie? It's called Melo, M-E-L-O. But it also looks like Corvina, which is the one that we have here. It's most abundant. And then we have Pargo, which is the snapper. We have snapper here as well. But when you get the fish, the Corvina, you see the thickness I was telling you about? So a fish like that, you can put it on your grits. But if you're doing like a stew, a fish soup, that's a good fish to do that because it will hold itself. It's not going to disintegrate like, like a flounder or a trout. Some of those, or a cod, they would kind of disintegrate. But like a mahi or the corvina, they're going to hold. I like the corvina because I say about once a week or every 6 weeks, I allow myself, when you come here, you get a whole fish fried and the head usually is turned a little bit and I give you patacones. Whoo. Yes, I'm all there for it. Can you expand on the? Okay. No, we do not know each other. Oh, okay. It was a spelling error, but I can't wait to meet you. Are you coming? Oh, good, 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 good. Yep. Come on down. We're getting ready to start the Independence Month. November is going to be popping. These kids have been practicing all the desfiles, the parades everywhere in the country, and the food's gonna be going, the music gonna be going, the fireworks gonna be going. So it's gonna be bananas in November. I'm gonna be gone for a couple for 10 days or so, but the third, November 3rd, we celebrate celebration independence from Colombia, because Panama used to be part of Colombia, and they got their independence in 1903, I believe. And then they celebrate independence from Spain on November 28th. That happened like 1821. I hope I got the year right. But they combine those two. And then when you come to Panama, you're going to see flags everywhere. They call everything is la patria, patria. What did I say? What's patria in English? It's just a pride of their country, the country, my country, T's of D kind of thing. So I saw flags at the Ciudad del Saber, which is a place where they have, it's like a remnant from the American being here. And a lot of people provide consulting and a lot of intellectual assistance to the country. So there are a lot of expats attached to to that institution, and they had like thousands, not thousands, maybe hundreds of flags in the ground. So yesterday we were in a place like Casco Viejo. I just uploaded a video for you guys. Next week you'll see it. But they have flags everywhere. So in November you come to Panama, you're gonna see flags everywhere because they're so proud of being independent and all that. Well, I'm so thankful. Thank you so much, Jewel. Just yeah. The good friend I never met. Oh, that's so sweet. It's quite compound her distribution. What? Okay, let me get this guy out of here. I don't know what he's talking about. He's always in my comments. Beautiful granny. Well, thank you. I'm not a granny, but I don't have any grandkids, but thank you. I think you mean it as a compliment. I appreciate it. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to be signing off. I hope you have a beautiful day. I might have to go volunteer again with my little kids at the center. But, you know, again, volunteering is another thing that you're supposed to. This is a cooking show, Caleb. I don't know what your question was about. So let's stay on topic, please. All right, guys. Have a good day, a good week. God loves you. You know I love you. Au revoir. Bye-bye.